Do you find it difficult to deal with the opponent's threats in chess? Maybe you're defending a bit too passively or just missing the opponent's threats altogether. If that's you, then you've come to the right place. I'm GM Max, and in this short training, I'm going to give you this position as a puzzle. This one does come from the opening, so you can sort of, you know, refer back to, okay, this is the move we should play according to the books. But yeah, what would you play in this position if you were white here? And if you do need more time with these, you can always pause the video, take that time to figure out what you would play in a game, and then you'll be able to compare your thought process with what I'm going to share with you. And if you do get it right, you'll actually have played better than Shevchenko in this game, and Shevchenko being a very strong grandmaster from, originally Ukraine, but now representing Romania. And in the game, he played the move of a3. And the reason he played a3 is that he was concerned about the move c4 being met with knight b4, where he wasn't so sure how to best deal with the attack with knight c2. The problem with this, though, is when he plays a3, where you just found a very good reply of bishop d6. And by the way, Wei played very, very well in the super bet, rapid and blitz. Like, he actually won the rapid portion of the event. And, in this position, once you get a knight f4 and you're able to, trade off the bishop pair or, just get the bishop pair advantage this way, well, that bishop pair advantage sort of makes up for the fact that white has more space. And, as you can see in the notes, Wei did go on ultimately to win this game, but, it falls maybe a little bit outside the scope of this particular training as such. But yeah, if you are enjoying my style of coaching and presenting, then you can definitely like the video, and I can also suggest subscribing to the channel as a way to just sort of make sure you are able to just kind of get these in your feed and to, get that improvement in your chess that you're looking for. I really try to keep things as simple as possible in my training. I don't want to go too complicated because I have this saying that complexity is the enemy of execution. Well, I think it was Tony Robbins who said it, but yeah, that's the idea I like to follow. So the solution here, if you were going to play some more quiet move, you're not really worse, but you're not really going to be so much better either. But the move c4 really is the big question, and how to defend against knight b4. Now, if you were saying, okay, let's just go knight a3 and defend it, well, here we have this little bit of a priom, which is a Russian word for a strategic chess concept, like a set of pieces, where we can see how it's not so easy for us to develop our queen side. Like, we can't play rook c1 so easily because the a2 pawn is hanging. But say if we play queen b3 to prepare it, well, then they go a5 and, you still can't develop the rook because they go a4 and, they can start to, take the a2 pawn once again. You can sort of see how that can be a little bit of a problem, as it were. So, knight a3 is not the move we want to play. The move we want to play is, though, knight c3 and get the knight active. But maybe if you were thinking about this, you might have been concerned that, maybe they go knight c2 and they go knight b4 and they just shuffle back and forth and say, well, we're just going to make a draw by repetition. Which normally if you have the white pieces, you want to try and play a bit more aggressively. But yeah, why is this not so effective? Let me ask you this. What would be the move that you would play for white in this instance? I have to be a little bit careful with my mouse. I realize the arrows might be unwilling, potentially giving away answers. Or maybe I'm just, doing a trick question and, throwing you off the scent a bit. But anyway, in this position, the answer is that actually you can even just play the move bishop g5 in this position, where if they go bishop e7, for example, or move the queen, well, you just get your bishop safe and, just move the rook to safety. And yeah, you don't have that problem of losing the exchange. Now, you might be wondering, but Max, can't you just play f6 and just grab the exchange anyway? Yes, you can, but there's a but. The but is that after takes and queen b1, you actually have very, very good compensation for the exchange. Because black has this very weak pawn on e6. Also black's development is very backward. They only have 2 pieces in play. Whereas we are only 1 move away from getting every single piece in the game. And that lead in development is going to count for something. Like, say they move their bishop and we kick their knight back. You got to strike when the iron's hot. Like, if you let black castle, knight c7, get the rook to d8 and hit you in the center, well, they're just going to be sort of an exchange up in a sense, right? Maybe the engine will disagree, but I think you get the general philosophy. So we want to strike when the iron's hot and we want to open the position when we have that lead in development. And when they exchange, you can sort of see how it's helping our pieces get more active. The rook can come into the attack from the d file or the e file. The bishop can come in the attack. Even if they castle, you're still not feeling that happy about your king safety here. Say you go h6, already, I can play queen a2, threaten some discoveries. king h8, I can bring the knight in, and you can sort of see how white is eventually going to get back the material even with interest. But it's not about calculating it all the way to the end. It's about that intuitive sense of, okay, I might be down in exchange, but what are the other features of the position? I have more space, I have a lead in development, I've got the bishop pair, they've got a weak pawn on e6, they are, 2 moves away from getting their king castled. So it makes sense with all of these trump cards in play that we should have something to be able to show at least good compensation for the material. But let's say if you did want to avoid that, you could play the move of a3 instead, and play it this way where you might be giving up a pawn with queen d4, with knight d4 it might seem, like with this bishop b1 tactic. But the key point is you do have the move bishop g5 as a very nice little intermediate move, which is an important calculation technique that guys should be training. And after f6, take, at the absolute worst case, we can play queen e3, forking this pawn and also this one. So we're going to get our pawn back and just have a monstrous attack on the light squares. Again, black's lack of development really is costing him severely here. But yeah, that was the training exercise I wanted to share. I think that doing it in this way, it allows us to go a bit deeper into the position, like really understand, more of the subtleties of what great calculation looks like. And when sometimes you just have to, trust your gut of, okay, this feels like it should be good. Maybe I don't see the exact, full solution, but at least I kind of feel that, okay, there's probably going to be something good in the arising position, which is a feeling obviously built up with experience and, solving lots of puzzles and so forth. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, like, what was the main takeaway that you got from today's training? You might notice I'm starting to experiment a little bit with doing these shorter, like, closer to 5-minute videos, as it were, because I think they're more digestible for you busy adult chess improvers, and maybe give perhaps some ways a more accurate reflection of how my coaching style, let's say, is evolving over time, to make it as simple as possible and to really explain, like, the key ideas, as succinctly as I can, so that you can apply a lot more quickly in your own games. But yeah, I always appreciate, your feedback on, things you like, things that can be done better in your opinion. And whatever the case may be, yeah, I will see you in the next training. And until then, take care.